The phone lit up on the kitchen counter at 11:47 p.m. One message. One sentence. Don't forget to delete our thread this time. I was standing 10 feet away, rinsing a glass that had already been clean. The house was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the sound of my own breathing, slow, measured, automatic. I remember thinking how strange it was that my hands didn't shake, how my heart didn't race. I picked up the phone. It wasn't locked. Of course it wasn't. I didn't open the message. I didn't need to. The words burned through the screen, through my skin, straight into the place where certainty used to live. Behind me, my husband shifted in his sleep. 12 years of marriage, 2 kids, a shared mortgage, 1,000 dinners, arguments, apologies, routines, and in one careless sentence, all of it tilted. I stood there for a long time, staring at the phone as if it might explain itself, as if it might laugh and say this was a joke, a glitch, a mistake, but jokes don't arrive at midnight, and mistakes don't ask to be erased. That was the moment I understood something fundamental. The life I thought I had wasn't cracking. It had already collapsed. I just hadn't heard the sound yet. The next morning, he kissed my forehead like always. Too casual, too practiced. I watched him over the rim of my coffee mug, studying the micro-movements I'd never bothered to notice before. The slight hesitation before he met my eyes. The way his phone never left his hand. The way he smiled a second too late. "Did you sleep okay?" he asked. I nodded. I didn't ask about the message. I didn't mention the time. I didn't need to. I was suddenly fluent in the language of avoidance. I saw it everywhere. How he angled his screen away. How he showered longer, how he laughed too loudly at nothing. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was methodical. And worse than the idea of another woman was the realization that he thought I wouldn't notice. That I was background noise, furniture, a life he could rearrange without consequence. That realization settled deep in my chest, cold and heavy. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I didn't spiral. I observed. And I remembered every time he accused me of being distant. Every time he said I was imagining things. Every time he made me doubt my instincts. Gaslighting isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It sounds like love if you're not listening closely. I became careful, precise. I memorized his patterns the way a detective studies a suspect. Tuesday gym sessions that ran too long. Work calls taken in the car. A password change he forgot I'd seen him type once, years ago. I didn't confront him. I collected phone records, cloud backups, receipts that didn't match timelines. And then there was the name, saved as a man's name, clever, almost admirable. I waited 3 weeks before opening the thread. Long enough for him to feel safe. Long enough for the truth to grow careless. It wasn't just sex. It never is. It was plans, inside jokes, complaints about me, messages about how complicated I was, how he felt alive with her. I read everything. Twice. Then I closed the phone and made dinner. He ate like nothing was wrong. That night, lying beside him, I realized something else. Betrayal doesn't always hurt the way you expect. Sometimes it sharpens you, clears the fog, turns emotion into something colder, more useful. I wasn't heartbroken. I was awake. The DNA test arrived on a Tuesday. He thought I wanted it for health reasons, family history, something mundane enough to ignore. When the results came back, I didn't open them right away. I waited until he was home, until he was relaxed, until the house felt normal. Then I slid the envelope across the table. "Can you read that for me?" I asked. He frowned, confused, but opened it. I watched the color drain from his face line by line. Not the woman, not the affair, the child. The one he'd insisted was his. The one he used to anchor me, to bind me, to make leaving feel impossible. He looked up at me, mouth opening, closing again. "I can explain." I held up a hand. "No," I said calmly. "You can listen." And I told him everything. The messages, the lies, the months I'd known. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. That terrified him more than anger ever could. He begged. Of course he did. Said it meant nothing. Said he was confused. Said he never meant for it to go this far. I let him talk. Then I told him what I'd already done. the lawyer. The separate account. The copy of every message stored in 3 places. The paternity results sent to the right people. I watched his world collapse in real time. He reached for me. I stepped back. "You thought I wouldn't notice," I said quietly. "That was your real mistake," he cried. "I didn't." I had already grieved him while he was still sleeping beside me. This moment wasn't pain. It was release. I left that night. No screaming. No dramatic exit. Just a suitcase, my keys, and a calm I'd never known before. Some people think revenge is loud. They're wrong. Real revenge is walking away with the truth in your hands and your dignity intact. It's knowing the story didn't end the way the betrayer planned. I didn't destroy him. I simply stopped protecting him from the consequences of his own choices. And as I drove into the dark, the house shrinking behind me, I realized something else. The sentence that changed everything? It didn't break me. It freed me. Because the moment I stopped believing his lies was the moment I finally belonged to myself.